Good evening, everybody. I'm Pete Boyer along with Kevin Bryant. We got that classic crosstown rivalry tonight for you. It's the girls this time. Huron going to Pioneer, looking to make a statement. Kevin, what do you see in tonight's game?
Well, I'm going to use that term crosstown rivalry a little bit lightly. For the Pioneers, this is a redemption game because they've been chopping away at the bit at the River Rats, and hopefully they can come away with a win tonight. Asaria Thurman in the paint should be the difference. Her going up against Shamim Wambert for Huron, that is going to be the matchup. But let's be real, Pete. Huron hasn't lost a game to Pioneer girls basketball in over 10 years. If they lose tonight, it'll be a big statement for the Pioneers.
Stay tuned. Tip-off is next right here on CTN Sports. And welcome to the campus of Pioneer High School. We've got that classic crosstown rivalry, the Huron River Rats versus the Pioneer Pioneers. We are about to get underway. I'm Pete Porter along with Kevin Bryant. Kevin, how are you doing this evening?
I'm looking forward to a great crosstown rivalry. Thank you. How are you doing tonight, Pete?
Great.
Awesome.
Ready for some great basketball.
You got a familiar face on that River Rat sideline. When you look over at the bench and you see a coach, Waleed Samaha. This guy is in the Hall of Fame already for Huron boys basketball. Beginning of the season, he was tapped by Dottie Davis to replace the former coach who resigned right before the tryouts, right before first practice. Dottie couldn't have made a better hire.
Well, everybody at Huron High School is very familiar with Coach Samaha. He took a year off to go do a little work for University of Michigan, and he's back. And from our earlier game of the week, didn't look like he skipped a beat.
The guy, the first game, they dropped. They lost the first. Since then, they have not lost a game. And, of course, there was an adjustment period for these young ladies to understand the style that Coach Samaha puts out there on a daily basis.
And Huron opens the scoring with a three-pointer. And a whistle and a foul on that make. That's going to send Allison Whitney to the line to try and complete the traditional three-point play.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the Huron seniors, and I love that number on her back, the 13. She actually grew up with number 31 as her number. Couldn't get that, and 13 is her favorite number, so somebody else on the team had it. But Danny, she's wearing that number well for the River Rats.
Oh, Pioneer back down the floor. Their first offensive set of the game. It's a drive on the baseline, shot over the hoop completely. But corralled there in the corner. Oh, look. Out of bounds error there by Pioneer, so Huron will get it back.
Now the Rats getting into their offense. This Pioneer team, they're trying to, bother their offense, but Huron, they love to get inside that paint and score and set up that pressure that Coach Samaha has been, known for over a decade in high school basketball in Michigan.
That was Patel on the drive. She missed her shot. Rebounded by Pioneer. Knocked out of bounds by Huron.
That's a little touch foul right there.
Alexa Lyon picks up the foul.
Coach Ty Hicks really wants to beat the River Rats. We did a little interview with him earlier in the season. We might get a snapshot of that, Pete, later on in the broadcast. But one of his last words is his goal is to stop this. What's the word I can use for how dominant Huron has been over Pioneer girls basketball over the last 10, 15 years?
As dominant as the Pioneer boys football team has been over the Huron boys football team.
Ouch! To an
ex-quarterback,
quarterback, that's a tough one, Pete. That's a sledgehammer. That's about right, though, sir.
Shafina Wambert to the line, shooting 2.
And Shameen, you can see that she's a workhorse for the River Rats on the boards. She will really just command the ball in the paint, and she gets it inside 10 feet. She's really money.
Wambert splits the pair. Huron leading it early here, 6-0 in the first quarter. Well, Pioneer breaks the press, gets it down low.
There you go.
Nice shot there by Turman.
Asaria Thurman she is the one that Pioneer has to get going. There she goes again on the board.
Drive. Can't get the shot to fall.
You recall
Turman rebounds.
That's the lean game we did with Huron. Wambert was missing all of those layups and looking back up at the rim like, what's going on? Hopefully she doesn't have another one of those nights.
The turnover on the floor. Now we have a whistle and stop to play, and there's a foul called.
Fouls on Whitney Gallagher, her first.
Thurman getting in there, and she puts her hands on Glenn, and Glenn just goes backwards.
Huron there trying to work the weave a little bit at the top of the key. And a pushing foul called on Pioneer.
Little walk there, yeah.
And travel by Jaden Smith.
One of the 2 twins on the Huron team, Pete.
Don't get confused by her sister Sienna. A nice pass down low, off the glass, no good.
You have to capitalize when you break the pressure of Huron.
That was all alone under the net. Had to hit that shot.
Well, the Huron pressure speeds up the offensive player for Pioneer. A lot of contact.
Drive down the lane, and 3 players hit the deck. And an offensive foul is called on Huron.
Wow. Now that call I want to take a look at again. You see the drive coming in, and I don't see how that in the world is a foul on the Huron player, especially not the one that's laying on the ground. Smith, she took at least 4 felony hits, and now she's getting charged with a foul, Pete. That's ridiculous.
see that Smith gets the foul called on her, other end of the floor. She gets in, gets the jump ball. Possession favors Pioneer, but still, it never give up kind of attitude is really nice to see.
Yeah, and she's a younger player. She's learned from the seniors that after that play is over, forget about it.
We have another foul over on the far sideline, right in front of the Huron bench.
It fouls on Jaden Smith. That's her first.
See Coach Ty Hicks on the other side trying to figure out when is the right time to bring Thurman back in the game.
Almost got trapped again. Now Pioneer down low, bounce
Good pass. Good
off
pass.
the glass and good.
Alyssa Fournette on that, and Alyssa Fournette on that pass was a good vision.
Wambeer in the paint, gets one to fall this time.
With Thurman being out of the game, there's no one in the paint that can really defend Wambeer when she has the ball like that.
Really, Huron has to take advantage while she's out of the game at this point. Another near steal there by Huron. Pioneers got to be careful not to find themselves trapped on the sideline.
Doing a good job with court spacing, though. They're really making that Huron defense work.
There's another play similar to the last one for Pioneer, and she gets it to go off the glass.
Corrine Burgard on that shot. That was a good jump stop that she put on Wambeer to kind of froze the defender. Watch this jump stop right here. And she kind of froze the defender where she had Wambeer off balance.
Now Wambeer in the paint again off the glass, and it bounces in. Shami Wambeer is starting to get the bounces to fall her way in this game.
And she's playing with a lot of determination against this rival. She does not want these Pioneers to have an inkling that they can win this game.
There's a jumper, no good. Nice rebound by Burgard there.
Caught that nice little spin move and lay in there by Wambeer. And you're right. She's
see the look on her face right at the end of that replay.
determination
she looks
look.
Very determined.
Yeah, she's into this game. And now I want to take a quick look at her on the bench. She's sitting down. She does not like to come out of the game. But this is one time that she's coming out basically for a breather because she's over there just breathing hard. And you can see her trying to catch her breath.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. There's another glasser, no good. The putback is no good. There's Turman with the third putback, and she gets it to go and draws the foul.
Well, it's just like that when Coach Hicks brings back in Thurman. Wambeer is not in the game. Coach Hicks does the same thing that Coach Samaha does. He goes right down to his low post player, and Thurman, great job of put that putback right back up on the rim.
Misses the free throw, but it's rebounded by Pioneer. Burgard on the floor. Ball tie up. And there'll be River at possession.
Maybe we'll catch a smile out of Coach Samaha tonight. I have yet to see this man smile when the game is on. He is relentless from beginning to end.
Huron working the offense, moving around the perimeter.
Some very spirited defense from the Pioneers, closing out.
I think they're trying to keep that ball away from Wambeer. And we have a whistle before the shot.
It kind of looked like Thurman came out a little bit too aggressive on the closeout, and that little pump and go by Caden Glenn, of course, another Glenn on the roster, that allowed her to draw the contact and go up. See, the closeout came a little bit too aggressive, and I don't even think the foul is going to go on Thurman there. It's probably going to go on 24.
That's Garrett for Pioneer, picking up that foul. Glenn gets them both. Huron leads 12-8.
She's only a freshman, so we're going to be seeing a lot more of Caden Glenn. Look, 3D action, Pete. Got balls coming right at us.
DiGiovanni inbounds to Michaela Glenn, and she will bring it up the floor.
Oh, a little bounce there, not called.
Now Patel has it. She'll hand it back to Glenn.
Good screen there by Wambear.
There by Turman, and she's going to pick up another foul.
That's a bad foul, really, for a low post person like Thurman to get a foul. 1 minute left in the first quarter, and she picks up her second foul. That is a doom play for Coach Hicks.
Well, and look where it is on the floor.
Yeah, I mean,
way out on the perimeter.
You have
she needs to be down in the paint.
Yeah, a center trying to take the ball from a point guard usually doesn't work out too well for the center.
Bad decision. Well, Michaela Glenn makes the pair. River Rats lead at 14-8. Under a minute to play now in the first quarter. And we have another whistle and a foul. This is going against Shamina Wambear.
Actually, that's going to be on Lyon, number 12, Alexa Lyon. And, you know, Pete, that was just a bad reach. She wasn't going to get that foul. She wasn't going to get the ball dislodged. If anything, she could have set up a trap right over the top of the foul line.
Got it out of the trap. There's a jumper on the way off the front of the rim from Burgard. Patel picks it up off the floor, and she heads all the way down the floor. Loses the handle, but picks it up in the corner. Getting knocked away, and Pioneer will pick it up.
Pioneer getting a little bit of home whistles right now.
Finally get it over the timeline.
Pioneer offense is out way high. They need to get that ball closer, foul line down.
Well, I think they're trying to work that the ball around and get that low baseline shot that's been working for them. And there's another one that goes in.
There you go.
And that'll do it for quarter number one. It's Huron 14 and Pioneer 10. We'll be back with the second quarter right here on CTN Sports.
Got a few people that have moved up from the JV level. I've got Eilina Garrett, who's an up-and-coming junior that I'm expecting big things out of this year. And then from there, to be honest with you, I've just got a lot of kids that are now seniors that were juniors that are expecting big things from. Anna Fournette, she's going into her senior year. She's an extremely hard worker. She's doing a real good job defensively. She's also doing a good job of being able to score in the post now. And then Emma Packard, she's got a nice mid-range jump shot, and then defensively, she's absolutely where she needs to be all the time.
Outshot off the backboard, no good.
Yeah, sorry, Turman.
No good.
You know, she's a third-year starter for me. She's kind of the general on the team. I think the big thing with the Sari is just, you know, she's very vocal, she's competitive, she goes out there every night, she wants to win, and she gets to the place where she's playing extremely hard. You need to do a better job of taking care of the basketball, play with a little more confidence. We're doing a good job of competing every single night, and then it's just going to be figuring out how to score without Emily Arger-Singer and Laura Stroud, you know, around this year. Get better every day, compete in our league, and absolutely beat Ann Arbor Huron.
And welcome back to CTN Sports Game of the Week. Start of the second quarter, Huron leads it 14-10. And Kevin, you were talking about how that was a really good first quarter for Pioneer, keeping it close.
Yeah, after starting out the way they did, not scoring a bucket the first 4 minutes, and to come back and only be down 4 points, that's what Coach Hicks wants to see.
Another opportunity for Pioneer by the wayside. Had an open shot there for just a second. Got it up quickly and could not convert.
Oh, she backed up. She kept the 5-second call on. I was wondering if the ref was going to stop the 5-second count where there was distance.
And the pass into the paint is knocked away out of bounds. Huron will keep possession.
Coach Hicks has his eye on what he wants to see. Get that ball down low.
There's Patel with the drive off the backboard, no good. Pioneer will pick it up and try and break the Huron press of a kind of a weak press.
Yeah, and it's a difficult press to set up too after not a made basket.
A nice bounce pass to Turman, and she finishes. Cuts it to a 2-point lead for the River Rats.
The Rats have not had an opponent this close in over 2 months.
Now Wambear with the drive. Bucket is no good, and she gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah.
Things are going the Pioneers' way right now.
Oh, you can feel it too, right? That's momentum jumping over on that that home bench right now. It's a great pass to find Wambear closing out down on the defender, and Thurman was wide open for the layup.
Oh, Huron not coming out to trap start of the second quarter here. Trying to play like a active matchup defense.
That's
Long
right.
shot on the way, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Wambear.
You know Coach Samaha does not like running a zone either. He had to go to that to stop what Thurman was doing inside.
Turnaround jumper is no good for Huron. Turman with the rebound, but her pass is, outlet pass is wild and goes out of bounds.
Great
and they
idea,
hand it right
though.
back to the River Rats.
Good idea as far as trying to keep that pressure and pushing the ball up court, though. Sometimes, yeah, you wanted to execute every time.
Another drive on the baseline, another travel call.
You see Coach Samaha on the sideline talking to his team. He really likes this type of game. This is a game that a coach can really get the attention of his players when they've been on a winning streak like the River Rats have.
There's a three-pointer on the way off the front of the rim. Offensive boarded by Pioneer. Ball is out of bounds. Pioneers will keep it.
They're still trapping hard out of this matchup zone. Look how far they're out, Pete.
And there's the bounce pass intercepted by Huron. Pioneer knocks it away. They almost had a turnover of their own there.
Yeah, Michaela Glenn, that was she got fortunate with that pass going off one of the Pioneers. And this is when you know Coach Samaha is working on things where he has Rena Patel, a sophomore, running up at the point, where he has a senior point guard running off on the wing.
Well, Patel has it again. Backing it out towards the timeline. Now she'll drive it, put the shot up, it's blocked, and we have a hard foul as two more players hit the floor again.
Yeah, Patel has an aggressive scoring mentality. She's good from the outside, but also driving to the bucket.
Well, and as you said, Kevin, she's just a sophomore. this type of play now has really paid dividends when she becomes a senior.
Yeah, and she lodged the minutes last year on the team, not as much as an integral part of the squad as she is this year. She definitely brings some scoring that kind of is a balancer to Wambear being down inside in the paint.
So Patel hits both of the free throws. Puts Huron back out to that 4-point lead, 16-14. Just under 5 minutes to play till halftime. Pioneer, again, trying to get it quickly down the floor. Maybe getting a little over-exuberant, putting up a errant shot and turning the ball over.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because with the River Rats, once you have an open shot, you really want to get that ball up near the basket. And certain times, and we've seen it a couple times tonight, where the offensive player just rushes the shot a bit.
There's a pass directly to Wambear. Turnover in favor of the River Rats.
Yeah, I thought she was going to turn around and put it up. It would have been in the wrong rim, but that was a nice pass to her.
Oh, Huron back down the floor. Patel in the near corner. She'll bring it back out top.
Oh, that was a screen.
Gets it to Wambear, where Wambear's shot is off the mark. But we have a whistle and another foul.
That may come on Bogart. Another Pioneer player with 2 fouls, and that is Coach Hicks. He's over on the sideline. He's pleading with the referee that his player had their arms up in the air, and he's going to lose the battle, of course. They don't go back and change the call, but he's working on that official for a future call, I bet.
Well, Huron with 4:21 to go till halftime in the double bonus.
Yeah, but on the positive side for the Pioneers, Pete, River Rats have not scored a field goal in this second period. It's all been at the foul line, so the defense is stepping up for the Pioneers.
Well, quick break of the press for Pioneer. There's a shot from the perimeter off the mark. And it just seems to be that in the Pioneers' offensive game, there's this, I've got to get the shot off because that trap is coming.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. Mm-hmm. I've been subjected to the trap.
That kind of indirect pressure, really, because it's in your head.
Right.
And it makes you speed up everything. And that is something that teams that face the River Rats, they know coming in that they're going to have to really pace up that offense.
There's another shot by the Pioneers. In and out, no good.
That was a missed shot opportunity there. Here comes the Pioneers.
Shot on the way, that's short. Picked up by Turman with the offensive rebound, and her putback is good.
Asaria just grabbed that ball and went right back up, no hesitation. That is the way Coach Hicks loves to see his big player play.
Well, and it's really the way to break down the Huron defense.
A quick shot, or you mean the shot from the outside and the quick putback? I like it, Pete. Because the Huron defense is out defending that. There are some open lanes.
Just make sure Turman is down low in the paint, ready to receive that offensive rebound, if necessary.
Yeah, and she doesn't need to be outside that 10, 15-foot area anyway.
30-second timeout.
Timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout by Huron. It looks like Coach Samaha looks like he wants to kind of change up what the girls are doing out on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's really pleased with the offense right now. And Coach Samaha is not a tactician on offense. He's a defensive guy. So, yeah, getting the right rotation, the right ball, dropping into the post, that's something that the River Rats, they don't do too well because of their defense is so good. They get so many transition buckets. That's why I say, Pete, it's right now, Coach Hicks has to be pleased with the way the defense has been showing up right now for the Pioneers. This is an ugly quarter, and I think that really goes to the favor of the Pioneers.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. We have another foul.
But you're right. These fouls are just racking up for the Pioneers, and that is going to really come back and haunt them in the second half.
That's Michaela Glenn at the free throw line. She hits the first free throw.
That was, you know, we've seen some really inconsistent calls out of this official crew. You know, some of them they call a contact, some of them they're touch fouls.
And Glenn gets a second one. And as Huron is pressing, they pick up the foul, and that is Huron's 7th foul, so it's a 1-on-1 situation for Pioneer.
Yeah, like I was saying a minute ago, Pete, ugly second quarter, not a lot of up and down action. The pressure for the River Rats, yeah, they're going to rack up some fouls, but the Pioneers, uncharacteristically, are racking up a lot of calls themselves.
Well,
what
Whitney
a
misses the
rebound.
first, but Turman goes up and gets that rebound, surrounded by River Rats. And she draws the foul and heads to the line.
Oh, that's a perfect way of utilizing your body, boxing out your man, catching the ball and keeping it high. Because she didn't allow the Huron defender any room to dislodge that ball.
Gets a little rim magic to go and get that first one to go down.
Well, she definitely knows these rims. I mean, a couple times. Oh, look at that. She's watching herself shoot free throws.
Gets a second one to go as well. Just a 4-point edge for the River Rats. And this late in the first half, Kevin, they are in unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, and I think for the coaching staff of the River Rats, they don't mind this because, A, you know you're going to the postseason anyway, but you want to have a teachable moment. This is a perfect teachable moment on film for Coach Samaha and his staff.
Now Juan Bear drives the lane. Shot is short, but she draws the foul.
And I'm not discarding what the Pioneers are doing and not saying the Pioneers aren't in a great position to win, but that's where, yeah, and there was a lot of contact there. I'm not sure why people are saying that wasn't a foul. I mean, there was at least 3 fouls. But, you know, the way that the Pioneers are playing, that has to make Coach Hicks happy because he's going to, you know, have a bunch of girls in the locker room at halftime that are just glued to his ears. They know that they're in this game.
Juan Bear hits both the free throws. 6-point advantage for the River Rats.
That's a good sign for Huron making all those foul shots as well.
Oh, bounce pass intercepted by Huron. The press pays off.
Good job by
They
Caden
force a
Glenn.
turnover.
Caden Glenn about to go out of bounds. She smartly throws the ball back in bounds, but not to one of the Pioneers.
Well, River Rats setting up their offense. Juan Bear looks to shoot a 3, thinks the better of it.
And Turman, she needs to be careful with that 2 fouls she has.
DiGiovanni drives the lane, and she gets her shot to go. First bucket for Danny DiGiovanni. And we have another whistle. Another foul on the press on Huron.
You know, when I look at this play, Pete, I'm not sure if Danny, knowing Danny, I'm not sure if she didn't mind that foul. She kind of looked over at the bench like she delivered a message more than she was really upset that she got a foul. And those kind of messages go a long way when you're a senior following somebody that's just really, as you look at that person, not on your level.
And first of the 1-and-1 is off the mark. Rebounded by Juan Bear.
And that's the difference, really, Pete, the foul line. Pioneer is not making all theirs, and Huron is.
Especially in the second quarter. There's Juan Bear looking to go to the hoop again. That was a nice tackle there.
Yeah, Cody LaPointe for the Pioneers. Just like I was just alluding to the Huron player making a contact foul. I think that was a little retribution right there, Pete.
I went to a basketball game and a football game broke out. Wambair hits the first. Now you're starting to see the River Rat edge.
Yeah,
Wambair hits his free throw. The lead is 10.
That's the thing about these teams that are, oh, wow, you got to box out the shooter. You got to box out the shooter.
And I almost said I was a jinx, but turned out to be a better play in favor of the Rats as they take an 11-point lead.
Yeah, and see now all of that good action for the Pioneers is about to go out the door, Pete.
That was Sienna Smith with that bucket. Now it's 13.
And now Coach Hicks calls the timeout. I'm not sure if he is, he should have called a timeout maybe a little bit sooner because the last minute has been all Huron.
Right.
All
38.3 seconds to go in the half.
And
13-point advantage for Huron.
And it was just 2 points less than 5 minutes ago. And it's not like the River Rats put together huge burst out. It was a methodical kind of quarter for them, and that going to the foul line for the River Rats hitting foul shots and Pioneer going and missing, that added up real quick.
Well, since Turman hit that putback, Huron has outscored Pioneer 13-2.
Yeah. That's not good.
No, not for Pioneer.
Not for Pioneer. And that's, I think, what Coach Hicks wants to do. He's probably going to ice it and take the last shot. If I'm him, that's exactly what I'd like to do. I don't want Huron to get the ball back.
There's a shot off the rim, no good. Fight for the rebound. Pulled down by Wambair. And now Huron will have about 20 seconds to get their final shot off.
Wow,
now
that's
just
deep.
5, three-pointer launched, and it's good. Michaela Glenn with the three-pointer, and another dagger in the heart of the Pioneers.
Hey, that last 30 seconds, Pete, that was some kind of fantastic finish to the second period.
Oh, the halftime score, Huron 32 and Pioneer 16. We're going to take a break and be back with second half action right here on CTN Sports.
For the second consecutive year, there's a new face as head coach for Huron's women's team. Well, not really new. Back on a River Rat bench is Huron Hall of Fame coach Waleed Samaha.
When we talk about Huron the expectations are always higher at Huron because we just demand more of ourselves. And the quality is always our greatest motivation. Is just we want to do things the right way. We want our kids to do things the right way on and off the court. And we want to compete at the very highest level. We're not afraid to compete. We're tough, we're competitive, and we're smart. It starts with Shamim as the senior, the most experienced player. She's battling an early season injury. She's going to be okay. But just her toughness, her intelligence, her leadership, her ability to score in the paint. She's a good rebounder. So it kind of starts with her. And then you've got Eden Johnson, who's a very talented young player. At the varsity level, I think she's got a year. Last year, she was her first time seeing action. Just learning to be a new player in a new role. Whenever you graduate players, everyone has to adjust to a new role. And then we've got 6 or 7 guards that are really battling for those, 3 or 4 spots. So trying to see how that competition plays out. And then you've got Danny and Michaela, who are seniors, veteran players who've been through all the battles and just counting on their leadership and their toughness. They're both really tough players. We have a lot of young players out there right now, and they're learning. They're going to be good too. It's just going to take some time. There's a learning curve. Plus, we're doing things differently than they did last year. So they're learning a new system, they're learning a new style of play, and they need to get experience. But we'll be good. Don't go anywhere. You're watching CTN Sports. Go Rats.
I just wish there was some place I could watch my favorite local TV shows. Wow! Cool, where am I?
You are in a computer terminal.
Who said that?
I am the god of computers. I heard your wish and granted you access to my terminal.
Really? I've always wanted to be inside one of these things. So what's next?
Visit CTN's and the City of Ann Arbor's streaming and video on demand 82gov.org/watchCTN.
What do I do there?
Here you can watch city meetings, community produced programs, school board and education programming, and a whole lot more.
Yes! This is great!
The live streams include CTN's 4 channels: government, public, educational, and community. Just click the sidebar for the channel you prefer and click play.
I can watch 4 channels. Cool.
For video on demand, go to youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to find your favorite show. Scroll through the mini playlists or simply use the search bar to type in the name of the program.
I wish I knew about this earlier.
Visit 82gov.org/watchCTN for CTN live streams and video on demand.
That's great. Now I can go tell my friends. Once I leave.
Goodbye.
Hello?
Catch up on FYI and other CTN programs at a2gov.org/watchCTN.
And welcome back to the second half of the game of the week. Huron, with that burst at the end of the second quarter, forged them out to a big lead. And there's a turnover. And it goes back to the River Rats.
And this is how the River Rats ended the first half. And look at Wambear.
Did you see how far outside the three-point line
That was NBA range. That was Michaela Glenn letting folks know. And now we come back to live action. That was a heat check shot right there.
Near steal by the River Rats there. Pioneer will keep it.
And Pete, the entire time the Huron was in the break, they did not come out and warm up. That was all a tongue lashing by Coach Samaha about the last, I wouldn't say 30 or minute and a half of that second period, but for the most part of that second period, his team was not playing his style of basketball.
Well, Turman with the shot. That was short. Huron rebounds, and they are now on the offensive side of the floor. Wambear shot is short, rebounded by Turman.
That's a good job of the referees not rewarding that wild shot with the foul.
And that shot is blocked. Picked up by Wambear.
I love the reactions looking at Shamim when she does a play. I mean, she lets you know what she's thinking. Good play.
There's a drive that's short from Smith. Now Pioneer quickly back down the floor. There's a drive that's short, almost the same exact shot on the other end of the floor. Now Patel with it. She's going to head down the floor and hits the deck. It's going to stay here on basketball. Again, no foul called on that.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. And watch this again. You can see this block. And you can see the reaction on Shamim's face where she's just like, yeah.
That was mine.
Yeah.
I did that.
Don't bring that in here. You see right now, Thurman right now, she's trying to get back up court. She's going up and down the court. And for a person her size, that's tough without getting a break or the ball.
It took over 2 minutes for someone to score in this second half. And it was Pioneer. They get the bucket.
Here's a good drop.
There's Wambert at the free throw line, and nothing but net from Shameen Wambert.
She's good at 15 feet in, folks. She was 8 of 10 at the foul line, and she just perched herself right there, got that pass, and just made a nice, easy. I'm not going to call it a jump shot, though.
The shot from the perimeter for Pioneer, and that is string music for Alina Garrett.
That one kind of touched the top of the roof here in the building. Scraped
nice
the
little
ceiling.
Rainbow jumper.
Watch this one. It goes almost out of our. Where did it go? Where did it? Oh!
There it is.
Nah, that was Photoshop.
That was a bird dropping that ball out of the sky, wasn't it?
Nothing but net.
So after a 2-minute no scoring period in this third quarter, now both teams are starting to get into it again.
Yeah, and you don't see the aggressive style out of the Pioneers on the defensive end and extending their defense as they did. They're really packing it in and really forcing the River Rats to play from outside. They don't want to let them get this inside the paint.
Wambert's shot is short, but she draws the foul.
It looked like a lot of ball on that defensive play for the Pioneers. I think Garrett kind of got a little. Remember back in the day, they used to say the hand was part of the ball. You never hear that nowadays. I think that was a clean block, though. My money would go on that side.
I think you're showing our age, Kevin.
It's hard not to.
Wambert gets a second one to go.
Oh, that was close to over and back. Or travel.
Picked off by Huron.
Patel's playing like she's more of one of the experienced players. She's walking up, barking out the plays.
Huron starting to get a little bit more methodical on offense. There's a jumper from Caden Glenn. That was off the mark. That's Burgard on the deck.
Shamim kind of came down a little awkwardly on her right leg. She's taking a little slow walk to the foul line. River Rats could ill afford to lose her.
Wambert gets the first.
And watch Lambert, watch when she comes to that right there. I think that coming down kind of jammed her leg a little bit because she walks a little bit gingerly to the foul line after that.
Looked like that right knee buckling a little bit too. Second one is in and out and back in again.
Now the dominance of the River Rats really taking over, Pete.
Oh, nice job breaking the press.
That's Danny using her body, and she really took a blow to the midsection there.
Felicia Stewart looked like she was heading to the hole, and DiGiovanni knocked it away out of bounds. Pioneer will keep it.
I went to a basketball game and a dodgeball game broke out. Can I play off your joke?
Sure.
Oh, wasn't that funny?
And there's an unforced turnover by Pioneer. Sienna Smith finally gets it in to her sister.
She knew exactly where she was going to be. They're twins.
Twins are like that.
Yeah.
A 16-point lead by the River Rats here in the third quarter. There's a turnaround shot by Glenn, and it's good.
I thought she was going to get a 3-second call because Glenn was down there for a while.
Well, trapped in the corner, and timeout is called by Pioneer.
Every time a coach is practicing against a press, the very first thing they teach you is never to pick up your dribble right at the foul line or the half-court line because you're creating another defender. That's what really frustrated Coach Hicks on that play.
Well, especially in the corner, you've got two defenders, the sideline and the timeline, and then the two players trapping.
You're putting yourself in a bad position. And the Rats, they've now put their pedal to the metal on this game, and that ending of that second quarter has really played out here in the third quarter, where the momentum is just all on the River Rat side, Pete.
Absolutely. And you see this scroll there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure to check out our social web access points: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
What's a web access point?
It's someplace you go on the web to access social media.
Yeah, you really are showing our age, man. Because I knew exactly what you meant, and I'm mad about that.
Well, my computer, I have to have a crank handle to get it going. So
I have an extension cord.
Do you?
It's on my cell phone. Long.
Under 3 minutes to play here in quarter number 3. And shuffle of the feet by Garrett. Traveling is the call. Another turnover for Pioneer.
Now you're talking about that mental fatigue setting in.
Well, Patel will drive it. Shot is no good.
And Patel, again, she has that offensive mindset that you love to have. That's something, you know what they say, Pete, you can't teach size. I don't think you can really teach an aggressive mindset on offense either. You either have it or you don't.
And really, we've seen that over the years with a lot of the girls' basketball games. When they're aggressive as a freshman, that takes them all the way to a senior. A long pass down court, and another unforced error by the Pioneers. And like you said, Kevin, I think that mental fatigue is starting to set in for the Pioneers. 18-point advantage for Huron right now.
And there's really hasn't been too many good possessions, feelings for the Pioneers since, that putback with about 5-6 minutes in the second quarter. Since then, it's been all River Rats.
Yeah, the Pioneers started off really great, really, really well. And it's just gone downhill a little bit from there.
And I think it really has to go back to the defensive side. I'm not sure if it's a fatigue thing, because they're having to go against the Huron defense, but the Pioneers defense isn't playing with that same crisp closing out action. And remember how they were stepping out almost out the full court? We're not seeing anything like that here in the second half.
Well, Patel will back it out.
And
when
you're dealing with
offense,
you're dealing with a coach like Samaha. He feeds off of this. When he sees that you're not into it, he wants his team to really hammer down and really just take all the will out of you wanting to win the game.
That shot is short for Jaden Smith, rebounded by Burgard for Pioneer. And again, Pioneer got to be careful not getting caught in these corners, because the River Rat defense is right there to trap. That shot is off the mark, no good. The putback for Turman is no good, but she will draw the foul and head to the line.
Yeah, and that's one of those fouls that Coach Samaha doesn't really mind out of Wambear, because it's inside the paint, she's challenging a shot, and the scoreboard's in your favor.
And interesting to note, that is the first foul on the River Rats here in the second half, with just minute 16 to go in the third quarter.
And that's amazing with all of the pressure defense that they apply not to rack up fouls. And they're still getting turnovers.
Well, they were certainly called for fouls on the press in the first half. Not so the second half.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of reaching. We saw not a lot of foot movement and a lot of frustration on the bench from Coach Samaha that he'll probably let out at halftime.
There's a nice pass to Patel. Can't finish. And Patel looking to go for the tie-up, but gets called for the hack on the arm.
Well, when Patel is watching this game on CTN Sports tomorrow, she's going to think back and say, why didn't I go reverse layup on that one? She had an open reverse layup, and she forced it to the strong side.
You know, she might even want to call CTN and have them play a replay so she can watch it again.
Well, or she might just want to subscribe to the CTN Sports YouTube channel, because then she would get the alerts when we upload a new game. Never miss it.
Then she can freeze it, go back, play it again.
Like it, share it. A lot going on that CTN Sports YouTube channel, man.
Pioneer shot was short, rebounded by Huron. 30 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. It's been all Huron since late in the second quarter.
And I just noticed that Huron isn't playing with Eaton Johnson. She's on the bench over there with a big cast on her foot. That was a player that when we first saw Huron play against Saline a couple weeks ago, she was a dominant player.
Three-pointer on the way from Smith, no good. And that'll do it for quarter number 3. All Huron in the third quarter. As we head to the fourth and final quarter, we're going to take a quick break and be back with that fourth quarter action right here on CTN Sports.
Yeah. And they have mismatch day. They had it like it's coming up or it just passed. And I thought to myself, isn't that every day for this age? I think she's mismatch day every day.
Pretty amazed by some of the clothes I put the baby in that I think are going to be cute. And then I'm like, what was I thinking? And welcome back to CTN Sports Game of the Week. I'm Pete Porter along with Kevin Bryant. It's been an interesting matchup, but really the better team, I think, is starting to make their mark here in this game.
Yeah, I think when you look back at this game, the Pioneers started out the exact way they wanted. They had the game and it wasn't flowing well, but Huron's talent over a period of time just took over, really.
Another three-pointer off the mark from Jaden Smith. And Pioneer loses the handle and picked up out of the air by Wambert. And the River Rats will head back down floor.
And speaking with some of the River Rat players, they did not like the way that the Pioneers liked the last couple games, like they were making some headway in this rivalry. This is a statement game for the River Rats, for the Pioneers, to let them know you're not here yet. Whoa, that was a drop, wasn't it?
Yeah, but only 3 steps by Patel, you know.
Wow. A couple years from now when she's in the WNBA, that'll be legal.
Pioneer, good job breaking the press. Wild shot there. And Patel will quickly head back down floor. There's a bounce pass into the paint. Tried to get it to Caden Glenn.
It was
off her knee and out of bounds.
It's a good job by Patel of letting her offensive player join her in the front court, but push the ball to the rack next time. And she really didn't allow the defender to make a decision, or make that defender make a decision.
Okay, Glenn fouls Turman
we're
on the inbounds pass.
Pete, we're often asked why this Huron team is always so good. It's because of blowouts. They get to play younger players in meaningful games. Not meaningful that the score is there, but it is varsity action.
Always good to get your youngsters on the floor and get them game experience. Pioneer calls timeout as they were trapped again on the sideline by Huron.
Yeah, Coach Hicks wisely bailing out his player that was stuck on the sideline. But, you know, I think that when you look back over the last 2 years or 3 years that Coach Hicks has been affiliated and head coach in the Pioneers, they definitely have improved. Their team has not taken step backwards. You can tell that he is a solid coach, and his message is being well received by his players.
Well, it's a work in progress, and they are steadily getting better and better each year. 6:52 to play in the game. Pioneer will inbound it.
Danny got right in the passing lane there with the steal. Good job. You see Pioneers a step slower, but right now Huron's still playing with the same type of energy, Pete.
A three-pointer on the way, rattled out, and really kind of Wambeer kind of volleyballed that back up into the hoop.
You think she meant to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think she was going for the rebound and just happened to punch it back up in the air, and it went in the hoop.
Smart play here. Like, all right, watch Shamim. She goes up, and she's trying to tap it in. I'm going to give her credit for that, but by her reaction, and I know Shamim, she didn't intend for that one to go in the basket.
At the other end of the floor, Turman gets the ball to go into the hoop, and she draws the foul.
Sari's got a good touch for a big person with that. You know, sometimes the center, they don't have a good touch on the ball, but she has a very good shot.
The thing I noticed about her free throws, really good rotation off of her hand.
Yeah. And you saw that replay on the layup. She releases it at the top of her jump.
Well, she misses the free throw. Patel will inbound under the hoop. Now Patel gets it back.
Nice.
And she'll pull up for the jumper, and it's short.
She can get some distance in between the defender, Patel, but she got to work on putting the ball up on the backboard.
Nice rebound there by Kobe LaPointe for Pioneer. A shot on the way is off the mark.
Find your big person. Look at Wambeer.
And she gets the ball and off the glass and into the hoop, and Shami Wambert really dominating this game.
Well, you can tell that she really wanted to put her statement on this game as a senior. You don't see Shamim hustle like that up court too often, but she did that time.
And at the other end of the floor, LaPointe gets the ball to go. Another bucket for the Pioneers.
This Huron defense, though, you gotta mention it, Pete. Pioneers have not scored 10 points in almost 2 quarters.
Well, Huron really got their defense and their offense going after a little bit of a stall. I mean, give Pioneer the credit for playing good defensively early on in this game. But I think they just ran out of gas.
Yeah, and I think that when you talk about a team that is as skilled as Huron, they're used to teams coming out and giving them their best effort. So they're not surprised being down early. Down late, yeah, that's when you start to worry a little bit. But this team, especially when they're going up against a crosstown rival that they've owned.
There's a three-pointer on the way for Pioneer off the rim. And another traveling call. It's been a lot of them in this game. And turnover goes back to Pioneer.
That was one of those calls where the official was kind of forced to call it.
That was an errant pass picked off by Huron.
Very good shot from our camera crew because you could see that play unfolding.
Now Huron goes to work on offense. Lyon passes to Smith. Back to Lyon. Lyon with the jumper. That's off the back of the rim, no good. And that ball off of Wambert and out of bounds, so it'll be Pioneer basketball.
Oh, let's see. Oh, now the Rats go back into that zone.
Well, I think at this point they can probably take a break defensively, being up so many points. There's a shot by Pioneer. That's off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Smith.
One of those things that make coaches like Coach Samaha great is that they don't allow themselves to fall in love with the scoreboard. They want to play until it's donuts up there. And Waleed, I know the guy well. I've known him over 30 years. That guy likes to win.
There's a shot from Wambert off the mark. Ball bounces around. She gets it back. And her putback is no good, but gets the whistle and draws the foul.
I think she took one to the eye there, winking a little bit there.
She was winking at us saying, I got this.
Well, what Shameen was telling me earlier that, you know, growing up in the Huron culture and playing Huron basketball, and it was the seniors when she was a sophomore that would beat her up, and she even used the word bullying in practice, and she'd come home with these bruises, but it's made her more of an aggressive player. And she does not mind the physical contact. Actually, she relishes it.
Well, she gets her free throws to go. Again, Pioneer breaks the press, but just a little too much energy from Burgard, and it's over Turman's head, and she can't corral that pass, and it's out of bounds.
I think Asaria mistimed her jump too. She kind of looked over at Corrine and was like, my bad. A quick smile from Whitney Gallagher. Here she has the ball. I wonder what was said out there because the smile's still on her face. Uh-oh.
Gallagher with the long three-pointer off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jaden Smith, and she brings it all the way up the floor. Hands it off to sister, Sienna Smith. Now Jaden down the paint. We got a foul before the shot.
How many fouls do the Pioneers have, man? They're racking them up again here in this quarter, similar to the second quarter. But no one seems to be coming out of the game. I don't know if they're going with NBA rules for the players on the fouls.
Well, that was the Pioneers' 8th foul. So just a 1-and-1 for Jaden Smith, and she missed the first one. And Pioneers brought it back down floor. We have another whistle on the floor and another foul.
So when the ball hits the foot, it's not a kick ball anymore, or? I mean, that ball went definitely right off of a person's foot. Are these people in stripes trying to dial it in, Pete?
I think they got a dinner reservation somewhere.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I'll say something nice about them if they get the check.
Now ball into Turman, and she hits the deck and loses the handle. And Huron back down the floor. Under 2 minutes to go here in the game.
Yeah, but for the Pioneers on that offensive end, Pete, you got to like the way that they're still trying to work their offense and not just chucking up shots.
That comes from good coaching.
It really does. It's not just about this game. We still have a season to play after this game.
Well, we're heading very close to tournament time. And that shot goes.
Afua-Do there.
That was Afua Kanza Ando.
Ando. Nice putback. Nakasa Ando.
She gets that shot to go and can get the old-fashioned traditional three-point play. Ando's free throw off the mark. Under a minute and a half to go. Again, like you said, Kevin, Pioneers still working their offense.
Score is very close, actually, to the first contest game where it was 55-39 for the River Rats.
Oh, whistle on the floor.
There's finally somebody's fouled out. I was wondering if they were keeping track of the fouls.
That was Felicia Stewart fouling out for the Pioneers.
Only a freshman. We get to see Felicia on CTN Sports for a couple more years, hopefully.
Caden Glenn gets the first free throw to go. Second one is off the front of the rim, no good. Pioneer with the comfortable 22-point lead as we get under a minute here in this game.
And when you take a look over at the Huron bench, maybe after this foul, there's actually a smile on the face of Coach Samahat. That's a smile. That's close enough. He's not screaming at somebody. Yeah, he was happy. That was his happy look.
Does he come from the Mark D'Antonio School of Smiling?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he has a degree in that kind of smiling.
Oh, Pioneer completes the three-point play.
Let's see if Huron finds the ball over to their other senior, number 50, Adele, who's out on the court.
That three-pointer is in and out, no good. They do try and get it into her, but it's knocked away by Pioneer. And they will bring it back down the floor. Under 30 seconds to go.
Hey, they called it.
Kickball.
Kickball. Oh, that's going to make the blooper reel. How can you be a ref and you can't catch the ball?
There's a jumper on the way from the baseline, no good. Under 10 seconds to go. Huron will push it down the floor. And they ignore the pleas from the fans to shoot it. And the game ends with Huron winning it 48-29. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more right here on CTN Sports.
And welcome back to the CTN Sports of the Game. I'm now joined by our player of the game, Shameen Wambert. She was money at the foul line and really commanded the paint for the River Rats, and you keep the winning streak going on against your crosstown rival. What's a win like this mean to you?
It keeps up the momentum. I think our team played great. I want to thank Pioneer. They played a great game. They did a great job defensively. I got a few charges called on me, so they tried to take me out of my game, but I think I did a good job keeping good mental health, yeah.
Well, and I want to ask you about one of your fellow seniors as well, too, Michaela Glenn. She hit a huge shot to close out the first half. What does an ending like that or a second quarter like that, how does that help you guys going into the second half?
She really boosted the momentum. I told her before the game we need to take over. We need to shoot with confidence. I know one of our leading scorers is out, Eden. I think we did a great job making up for her absence.
Well, congratulations on another win over your crosstown rival.
Thank you.
Back to you, Pete.
Thank you, Kevin and Shameen, for that interview. I'd like to thank all the people to make this production possible. Our director, Rob Cross. Audio replay by Jill Andrews. Computer graphics by Jamie Chu. And our camera people, Tim Nagai, Gage Shaughnessy, and Phil Booz. And with that win, Huron moves to 18-1, and Pioneer with the loss drops to 7-13. Hope you enjoyed all the action here. For Kevin Bryant, this is Pete Poyer. Once again, the final. Huron 48 and Pioneer 29.